Alright, this is going to be super weird because it is 5:40 a.m. in the morning and I'm here recording a video because we just had an earthquake and I just couldn't go back to sleep, so decided to make a video. So what is the best thing to do after an earthquake if you cannot go back to sleep? I think just make YouTube videos. What's good on my beautiful governors? Welcome to any Rise of Kingdoms video. As I said, I just couldn't go back to sleep, so decided to make a KvK recap video because this is the last day of our Strife of KvK. So what we can do is a quick recap of the KvK and a quick recap our achievements, Hall of Heroes, shop. We are going to discuss everything. So if we recap the fights real quick, because there wasn't really much action until the Kingsland. We started in here, 846 started in here, and then we could actually fight for this pass, this one, pass 6, but it was like a staring contest. We were just sitting here, they were sitting here, we took the pass. They rallied it a few times, but no, nothing was serious, and everyone was saving for Kingsland. Now, when Kingsland opened, the real fight actually started. We came from here, they came from here. We pretty much fought for like 4 or 5 days for the Kingsland, but at the end, we managed to get it. We managed to push them back at certain times because 846 is a very weird kingdom. Like, they're extremely strong, but I never seen a kingdom where there is so much online difference, active player difference between their peak time and downtime. It was like there were nobody during their downtime, and at peak times, like, they were everywhere. But maybe that imbalance between peak times and active times caused what happened. But in the end, we managed to push them out. So we got a whole Kingsland with our allies. Obviously, shout out to oh my god, I forgot I forgot the kingdom name. All right, 1302. Oh my god, how did I forget it? So yeah, shout out to 1302, our allies, and yeah, that was it. And then we tried to push into their territory, but they didn't let us. They decided to fight, and props to them for doing that. Their alliance fortress is full HP, standing in here, and that's it. Our last 3 kingdom versus kingdoms was like super intense, right? Because first we played against 1254, against, Bunny and all that. And then we played against 1v, and again, we managed to win. And now playing against 1846, another great kingdom and another victory. I think we are doing great so far. And when it comes to our individual stuff, our individual achievements, let's take a look at honor roll real quick. So we got rank 1 coalition, rank 1 camp, and individual. We managed to hit plus 100k because in Strife of 8, 100k is enough for every single achievement, and I wasn't going for, any certain rank, so I decided to save up my AP potions. Again, I will spend these someday, but I don't know when. Probably if they fire me from my work, I'll probably have enough time to spend all of these in a KvK, but I doubt it. Now, achievements. As you guys can see, kill or severely wound tier 4 or higher level units from other camps by the end of the event, so there were no, that T1 kill trading or anything. So I think we did pretty well for a super low spender account and with a bunch of T4s. 90% of the time I fought with T4s, and on top of that we only have 1 farm account, and it's an extremely fresh farm account, probably like 30 million gold, and that was it I got from my farm account. So I think that's a pretty big achievement, and I will make 2 videos probably back to back about how can you get, that 15, 20, maybe even push for 30 million kills as a T4 player, as a free-to-play / low spender. As I said, there will be 2 parts. On one, I will give you guys a detailed explanation about, the small adjustments that you can do in the open field to make a huge difference. And on the second part, I actually give you guys some tips and tricks from one of the best free-to-play players when it comes to getting kills. Because that guy, I'm not going to mention his name right now, but he's a full free-to-play. He does even have that Minamoto icon at the top right, which means you didn't spend any money at all. But he got like 5 billion or something kills, and it's not kill trading. Trust me, it's not kill trading. He's mostly using T4s, and he got some good tips and tricks. So consider subscribing if that is something that you're interested. Coalition, again, got everything other than Crusader Fortresses. Hall of Heroes, 1.3 million deaths, and most of it, plus 1 million of it, is T5. So I think for our account, for our spending level, this is a pretty good debt contribution for our, rallies and garrisons. Shop. We cleared 50% discounted sculptures and 33% discounted materials. I think they're still decent value. I wouldn't purchase these, but these 2, I think, good value. We got Twilight Falls for that maximum skill damage because now we have Guan, CPO, Nevsky, Boudica, YSG. We got a lot of skill damage marches. And Twilight Falls is a really good skin, and it gives infantry attack minus 10%, which means I'm using 2 infantry marches, so I'm gonna get minus 20% attack, which is really bad, but attack is the most disposable stat, as I said in the past, in my opinion. So if that was like infantry health, infantry defense, I probably wouldn't go for this one. But for infantry attack, it's okay. We're gonna get a bunch of attack from our, KvK tech and all that. I think Twilight Falls was a good investment for me. We got the Ring of Doom. You guys already know it. We crafted it and we couldn't get a special talent again. I also purchased a Sacred Dominion. Now, let me explain you real quick why I purchased a Sacred Dominion, because the first thing is I had some season coins. I wanted to spend them, and I will never ever purchase top copy, not because it's a bad skin, but I'm not an archer main. I'll never be. I have 2 infantry marches already. I have 1 cavalry marches, which is super strong. 1 archer march. Yeah, I could never be an archer main player, so this skin is kind of useless for me, and that's why I spent my season coins. But why I spent it on Sacred Dominion, let me show you real quick. If we go back to our cavalry set, I think it's on Minamoto right now. Yep. We are missing a legendary weapon. Most of the time, what you do is you have a Navarre's control for glows, and you have 4 pieces set: helm, chest, boots, and the weapon. So on this equipment, I already have 4 pieces from the cavalry set. There is no point, as you guys already know, having 3 pieces, 1 piece, or 5 pieces. You want to either have 2, 4, or 6. And since I already have 4, and even if I craft, the set weapon, it's going to get me 5 pieces from the set, and it is useless. I don't get benefits from having another piece from the set. So I just decided to go for the KvK weapon, but I don't even know if I will ever craft it or when I will craft it, because I don't want to do the same mistake that I did with my infantry KvK weapon and helm. Because let's take a look at CPO. I still don't have a secondary accessory for my Guan Yu. For now, I'm using movement speed accessories, and they're really good. They're really helpful, but I wish I had another Ring of Doom in here and another Horn of Fury in here. And that's why I made this video card up in the top, why you shouldn't craft that many regular legendary gear before crafting accessories. So I think you should prioritize accessories at some point, and we discussed everything about, when you should craft them specifically on that video. So if that is one of the questions in your mind, go check that video out. But yeah, let's talk about marches. So we started KvK with those 4 marches. But march number 1 was Guan Yu and CPO, one of the best open field marches in the game, and hands down, I think, the best infantry march. And our second march was Charles and Harold, because I just wanted to give a shot and try our Charles and Harold. I think 2 days ago we released a video where we discussed Charles Harold versus Harold Alex. On that video, I've explained when you should use these specific marches, when one is better than the other. So I started with Charles and Harold, and they were pretty good. This was our second march, and our third march was Attila Nevsky. Now, Attila Nevsky, was it better than Attila Takeda? Yes, it was. Would I invest 190 sculptures just to make Attila perform a little bit better? No, instead what I would do, yes, I would get Nevsky 100%. I think one of the best investments that you can do in Rise of Kingdoms, but I will just go for 2 cavalry marches. Again, Attila Takeda with like XY Nevsky, Nevsky John, it's up to you. But as I said, if you're just going to bench your Takeda and go for Attila Nevsky, don't do that. I think the difference is not worth it. If you already have a Takeda, stick with them and invest on Nevsky for the purpose of a second cavalry pair. I think that is the better approach. So you either bench a Takeda completely, or you don't break a Takeda and go for an XY Nevsky or Nevsky John, as I said. This was our third march, and they performed really, really good. And our fourth march was Boudica and YSG. And I think they performed really good. They actually really impressed me. The only problem with this march is that they are extremely slow. It's like you're using siege units really, really slow. So this is a big problem if you hate it. But I was okay with it because I already have 2 infantry marches. I'm not a cavalry main, so I don't have extremely fast marches. The difference between, the movement speed of, I don't know, like Charles and Harold and Boudica YSG wasn't that big, but in general, it was a very slow march. The main problem with that was to retreat, because Boudica is a primary target and she will get targeted a lot. So when you try to retreat her, it's a bit of a pain because they're so slow. But other than that, the AoE damage, the single target damage was crazy. So I still highly recommend you guys to invest on Boudica if you are looking for a good primary for your YSG. Until next KvK, we will max our Boudica and we will compare the performance of a 5.5.5.1 versus an expertise one. So I think that is going to be another decent content. So these were the marches that I started using at the start of the KvK. Now, in Kingsland, as I said, the main fights happened at Kingsland, especially during the peak times of 846 because they were like everywhere. We just had to go for 5 marches. And for 5 marches, again, it was Burikova SG, so that's our first march. Our second march was Attila and Nevsky, no different than the 4-march configuration, but it was our infantry. We actually went for 3 infantry marches. So my march number 1 was Guan Yu with either Leonidas or a 5-5-1-1 Richard, the slow that you are getting from Richard. When there are so many players in the game, there is a huge delay, right? And during delay, people do overextend. People bring those marches into your murder ball, but if you don't have some sort of slow or anything, they're just gonna run away. And I hated it. So what I did was I went with Guan and Richard so that I could get that AoE type of movement speed reduction, 15% for 2 seconds. So yeah, the main one was Guan Yu with Richard. Our second march was this time CPO paired with Alex. Yes, there's a small anti-synergy when it comes to their shields because shields do not stack. The better one will always override the weaker one, but I think they perform really, really well. And our third march was, as you can guess, Charles and Harold. So this was our 5-march setup. Let me actually show you like this so it's more clear. Here it is, our 5-march setup, but only time, as I said, that we used 5-march setup is that when it was the peak time of 846 because we needed as many marches as we can get on the field, and I don't recommend it because it is not efficient. So another KvK, another victory. I can't wait for the next. Until next KvK, we are going to work on our marches, our equipment and everything. And we will possibly have, we will 100% have formations, armaments, and I think it was called inscriptions. We are just going to work on our marches to make them even better. And before we end the video, let's spin that wheel for YSS because why not? Oh my god, that's pretty good. Nice. Let's spin 5 and get 8 sculptures twice. Come on. Rip.